AITA for being annoyed that my girlfriend is so impulsive. I 33 meters, love my girlfriend, 28, with all my heart, and have since we met in college a decade ago. We've been friends ever since we met in a shared class, but we only started dating about 4 months ago, partly because she wanted to explore life, which I understood and supported, even if it hurt to see her date other people. But we're together now, so the past is in the past. The issue is she's always been impulsive. She decided she wanted a new car, so she bought one. She decided she wanted a house, so she bought one. She decided she wanted a dog, so she bought one. Wanted to start a side business, so she did. Tattoos, piercings, hell, even grad school. She just does everything on a whim. And the most annoying part is that things just work out. On a whim she applied for an internship that turned into a job where she works from home and, in her own words, barely does anything for a shit ton of money. The car ended up being paid off by her grandparents as a grad school gift. The house she bought ended up dropping in price at the beginning of the pandemic, and she got it for super cheap with almost no interest. She applied and got a full grant for grad school for student creative writing, and the school itself is one a lot of people would fight to get into, and she just breezed her way on in. Her dog is perfect, and I've never seen her train it. Her business is doing well despite her having no clue what she's doing. There's never been any consequences to her impulsive behavior, and it's both annoying and worrisome for when the other shoe eventually drops. The argument came when, yesterday, we meet for lunch with 2 new cartilage piercings. They were tacky and, of course, done on the fly. No thought behind if they get infected, or how they actually look. Just another new or shiny moment. I don't remember the exact order of events, but we started arguing, and I brought up how annoying her being so impulsive was. She never talked or thought things through, just figured it would work out in the end like things always did. She stormed home without eating, and I soon got a ton of texts from other friends. Most are on her side, but a few agree with me that she's just too impulsive. Certified proctologist, 25, right? And just because she does something on a whim doesn't mean she doesn't commit and work hard for it. A higher degree takes focus and hard work. A grant from a good school doesn't just get handed out to any old rondo. You've got to have worked hard for it. Applying for an internship may have been a whim, but it didn't become a good job without her working hard enough to make herself a desirable employee. So maybe she is impulsive, but she has the skills and drive to back it up and make it work. I have the suspicion he had this picture of how she as a person and their relationship would go and had this head movie for 10 years, and a few months into the actual relationship he starts getting annoyed the real person doesn't follow his script, mostly because he sounds like he doesn't even like the person he's apparently been in love with for a decade. No one manages to graduate, buy a home etc. on a whim. That's just nonsense. She sounds successful and he sounds bitter. What Top calls impulsiveness many would call taking a chance. His GF had the guts to apply for the internship, apply to grad school, start a business. He should be proud. Not many have the courage to lead their lives the way they want to, and to give themselves the means to do so, which is what the GF is doing. Sounds like part jealousy, part projection, as in, if Op had half his GF's guts, he would take more chances and perhaps achieve more things he wants. She sounds decisive rather than impulsive. She knows what she wants and doesn't hesitate to go for it. That's actually a very commendable trait. I also want to add, is it really that she's impulsive? Or does she just not discuss her potential decisions with Op prior to following through because well, this post says it all. Op seems like he would try to get in the way of what she wants, and she doesn't give him that chance, which annoys him. None of the things you listed sound like they even affected you anyway, or if you actually became serious. Most would only impact you positively. Oh, no, she gets educated, has a well-behaved dog, owns a house she can afford, has a paid-off car, and has well-paying job with great work, Life balance. What a nightmare for your life together. Not that this relationship sounds lasting when Op thinks her successful life is all shiny and has been hurt watching her date others before she was interested in him. No idea how they got together, but his view of her feels very, very skewed. Colorectal surgeon, 42 sounds like we could all do with being more like your girlfriend. Not considering bitching at her because her apparently impulsive decisions just pay off. To be clear, your girlfriend might seem to do things on a total whim, spur of the moment, etc., but you've made it very clear that she actually puts thought into her actions, mostly, before she does them. For example, she didn't buy the house the day she wanted it, she bought it at the exact right time. The house was right, the price was right, therefore, that decision was the right one for her. You just don't like the fact that her brain works so differently from yours, that you can't understand that there is rational thinking going on under the surface. As for the piercings and her thinking shiny so f-king what? Why shouldn't she go and get a part of her body pierced? She doesn't need to consult you about it. It's not your body. You seriously need to sit and consider why things working out for her is a problem for you. Why is it that you want her to fail instead of being happy that things do work for her? Why not take a lesson from this and try to do some things yourself, instead of wanting to drag her back down again? I absolutely agree with this. I've had a few people that call me impulsive when that is certainly not the case. Anxiety won't let me be. I just don't vocalize my plans to others that much unless they're concrete or affect them OFC. I thought to myself maybe AITA's degree would be better for grad school for months and did tons of research and thinking on it, but I only actually told someone the day I chose it. It just feels weird to me to tell someone something like I'm going to do this and then have it not work out, you know. This pisses me off because I'm a lot like his GF. I am very lucky and I've had most things go my way in life. I've seen people get jealous and be unsupportive because of it. I put thought into things, but it's just that, thoughts. A lot of the time I don't bring things up until they're pretty much already a done deal, and she sounds the same. Jealousy isn't a good look, especially with a partner. My partner shares my successes with me and celebrates them. Just because I haven't had to deal with massive failures and I've always had things work out, doesn't mean I don't know how to deal with failure. Heck, I often stress in my head about bad outcomes and think of how I will deal if things don't work out. I would be so put off if my partner, of 4 months, tried to tell me what I could and couldn't do with my body because it is impulsive. Some of the best things I've ever done in my life have been purely impulse. And so what? Piercings can close and tattoos can be removed. I agree that Op is duh. There's that Prince quote, sometimes it takes years for a person to become an overnight success. This is either the case with the GF, she actually works very hard without him knowing about it, or this post is fake. It does sort of read like the GF is a protagonist of a rom-com. I went to a grad program that paid us creative writing PhDs. Those writers were all already pretty established in the field as poets or fiction writers, which is how they nabbed their spots. If the post is real, the age difference means that he's been watching her since she was a freshman and he a senior, and then just keeping up with her, seemingly motivated by envy, for 11 years, until he finally got her to date him. I dunno, seems sus to me. My sister is like this. She's very lucky. She's got this infectious positive energy. It drives my dad and I crazy how she's able to just seemingly move through life. He and I are black clouds, so honestly we're just jealous of her solid gold luck. But at no point would we blame her for her luck. Ops GF is a rare breed. If you can't deal with it, don't drag her down. Let her go be the amazing person she is. Yeah, I just loved how he tried so hard to spin her grad school as undeserved and a whim. Like she apparently applied to a great program, applied to scholarships, earned both and is now in school. He said creative writing program, so I guarantee she spent weeks writing and editing her work for these applications. She put in weeks to months of thought and work into pursuing this program and finding a way of financing it. But no, she just breezed in and magically enrolled herself after hearing about it for the first time. He is just jealous of her talent and clearly struggles with communication if he thinks those run every thought in her head past me equals impulsive and lucky. She probably knew her grandparents would pay for the car, or was prepared to pay the monthly bill anyway. It's funny how jealous he is. Once she sees his disdain for her, she will leave and he will decide that was impulsive too. Agree. It seems like he doesn't even know her at all. No one buys a house impulsively, like maybe she's just quick to do the math and decide. Op just sounds jealous that GF is brave enough to push through with huge steps and it always works out. Op should just break up with her before he affects her luck with his negativity. Asshole enthusiast 5. Tay, what exactly is your problem here? You say you're bothered by how she is so impulsive, but none of her behavior sounds impulsive to me. It sounds like she knows what she wants, and knows how to go about getting it. Not every decision has to be a grueling decision that requires you to go through hell to make. If she's able to figure things out for herself and is successful at achieving what she wants, what's the issue? You frankly sound immature and jealous, almost as if you expect her to struggle and fail multiple times in order for you to somehow be satisfied, as if everything she does in her life has to be about you. And if it doesn't fit your way, it's just impulsive. You have been dating for precisely 4 months and yet you feel largely entitled to make sweeping judgments about the way she operates her finances, even though her financial decisions aren't detrimental to her nor you. And in terms of piercings, tattoos, it's her body and she's allowed to do what she wants. Of course, she's going to see something, decides she likes it, and then just do it. How else do you propose someone go about doing something? You obviously aren't compatible, and you seem to have a major problem with the fact that she's doing well in life and would rather her struggle and suffer as opposed to be happy and supportive of her. What exactly is your problem here? Op hates that she is independent, that she doesn't need him like he needs her. She isn't dependent on him like he wants her and like he is on her. He has been hung up on, obsessed with, her for a decade, while she was out and about living her life, enjoying her freedom, not thinking about him, which made him resentful of her even more, that he wasn't an immediate, clear-cut choice for her. She made him watch her with other men when he wanted her all along, or he wouldn't have mentioned it in the post. For her, having a boyfriend is a nice thing if she has one, but not the end of the world if she doesn't have one, not a necessity she can't go without. The type of necessity he wants to be. She can stand on her own, without him. He hates that she can live happily without him too. She doesn't need advices from him because she knows what she wants without him too and how to go for it. She doesn't go to him for reinforcement, validation, doesn't lean on him completely for support, like he wants it. He hates that she is more successful than he is. He hates that he doesn't get to play the hero, the knight in shining armor, because she is not the damsel in distress and she is not willing to play the role to please him. She sounds awesome and like she has worked hard to get where she is now, just doesn't want to brag about all the effort she makes. And maybe she is the lucky type too, but then what? Good for her. Sounds like she has her life well put together, except boyfriend-wise. She made a mistake there during these last few months. I hope she dumps Op quickly. She deserves someone who appreciates her for who she is and doesn't try to change her into a codependent, insecure, indecisive, meek woman just so she can feel important enough, feel like he is the center of her universe. Top, you have been dating for 4 months. That's barely a blip on the radar. Of course she is not going to discuss her decisions with you, especially won't involve you in the decision-making. School, house buying, internship, her business or before dating, when you were friends. Even less reason to involve you on any level. About her piercings, it's her body, none of your business. She can do whatever she wants with it, whenever she wants it, and you have no say in it. What matters is if she likes it or not. Whether you approve, like it or not is 100% irrelevant. And dog training is a constant thing. Whenever you are with your dog, you should work on yourself, your resentment, entitlement, jealousy, Insecurities are the ones showing shiny, not her piercings. To me it seems you don't even like her. You like the picture you created in your head about her and how you imagined a relationship with her over the last decade. You live in a 10 years long fantasy relationship. He doesn't like her. He fell in love with her and has been ever since 10 years ago. She's not the same person she was back then. She was 18 and he was 23. Obvious power dynamic there, and he clearly expected her to be reliant on him. He fell in love with the idea of being with her, and now she's not living up to this false expectations on his side, so no, he doesn't like her. Side note, she sounds amazing and successful. Op is just salty and jealous her life worked out so well without him being involved. Participant 3. Tay, she's too impulsive for you. One person's impulsiveness is another person's bravery and good instincts. You may love her with all your heart, but not enough to celebrate her good fortune as a couple or view her impulsiveness as anything other than a negative. If you can't handle a free spirit, let her go, but don't expect her to change who she is on a fundamental level. Participant 1. Tay, largely because it doesn't sound like you actually like your girlfriend. Rather, it seems like you resent her quite a bit. This might be different if she was your long-term partner and you were seriously talking about building a life together and merging financials. But you've been dating for 4 months. A lot of this is honestly none of your business. Would it annoy the hell out of me? Absolutely. I'm a planner. But things seem to work out well for her and she's doing great for herself. On the piercings, it sounds like you're mad she didn't ask you beforehand. I don't think you'd think they look less tacky if she planned them out. It's fine not to love them, but I'm pretty sure she knows what she's doing with them if she runs a successful piercing business on the side. Honestly, it sounds like you've romanticized this woman since college and now you're actually dating, and it turns out she's a real person with flaws and a full complex life who makes her own decisions. Not the perfect image you had in your head of what your relationship would be like. Tay, it seems that you are jealous, resentful that things always work out for her even though she isn't really trying. Things have never had negative consequences for her, so I don't really know where your concern is coming from. She seems like a happy person just trying to live her best life without hurting anyone. If you can't deal with that, maybe it's time to rethink the relationship. Participant 4. Your girlfriend absolutely makes mistakes. She dated you, didn't she? And she dated you after you decided to do the weird nice guy thing of hanging around and getting really emotionally invested in someone who wasn't interested in dating you for a decade and then expecting her to change her ways once you inserted your magical dictium inside her. Dating you was a mistake on her part, so you can lose the jealous she never makes mistakes attitude because she just made a 4-month mistake. Look, she doesn't run what she's thinking by you first, and you're resentful because she's smarter than you, highly independent, and clearly knows it and trusts her intuition. I guarantee she's applied to other things on a women they haven't worked out, and you just don't know about them because she doesn't dwell on the things that don't work out. She focuses on the things that do work out for her. And you've romanticized this in your head to she never makes mistakes. Not really surprising from someone who held a torch for a decade. She's smart enough to pick an easygoing, intelligent dog that she can easily train. She's brilliant enough to get into a highly competitive program without visible effort. She's smart enough not to hang around someone who's not interested for 10 years. She's way smarter than you, and you can't handle it. Her brain just works faster than yours. So from the outside she looks impulsive, but from the inside her brain is just making intuitive leaps faster than you, and she was willing to overlook the fact that you're not as smart as her. But now she knows that not only are you not as intelligent as her, but you're envious of that fact, and you will take out your envy on her. Tay, and don't date women who are smarter than you and more independent than you if you can't handle it and you expect them to change once they enter a relationship with you. She's a person, not the fulfillment of a decade-long fantasy love. And you're a nice guy TM, not a decent friend or boyfriend. Wow. Absolutely this is what happens when the nice guy actually gets the fantasy he's been creepily obsessing about and realizes that she's actually an autonomous human being and doesn't fit the fantasy he created. The borderline dangerous comment too. Not enough people in the comments are flagging how controlling and manipulative this sounds. He really seems to have a problem with not being able to control her. Tay, please, stop holding her back. Sounds like you'd much rather see her crash and fail than be happy for her success. Plus you don't actually know what's going on under the surface. To you and other people, it might be impulsive, but who knows how long she's been having those thoughts to herself but only found the courage to finally share and do it recently. Not everyone talks about their plans to everyone around them, and she might be one of those. I impulsively applied for grad school myself and only told my boyfriend after I already enrolled for classes. Instead of him acting like the way you are, it actually even inspired him to probably go and get his as well. Why don't you learn from her instead and be inspired to achieve great things yourself?